So in this video, I want to go through 4 examples of factorising a quadratic and then solving it. Now, in these cases, we're not looking at single brackets, okay? So first of all, difference of 2 squares are out, okay? Because there are 3 terms in each case, so difference of 2 squares isn't going to work. We can't factorise these into single brackets either. The reason why is because all 3 terms do not have a common factor. So that's out. So this is where we have to factorise into 2 brackets. Again, I have gone through factorising into 2 brackets in a previous section. So assuming that you have seen that and that you are able to work through that, let's plough on with these examples. So first one, x squared plus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, so when we're factorising one of these, we're looking for 2 numbers that multiply together to make 2, but add together to make 3. Okay, so 2 numbers that multiply together to make 2, but add together to make 3. Okay, this is what we're looking for. So the answer to that would be 1 and 2. 1 times 2 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay, so that means that this factorises to x plus 1, x plus 2. Now, of course, you can double check that and go, right, well, if we expand the brackets, we get x times x, which is x squared. We have x times 2 and 1 times x. So you get a 2x and a 1x. So 2x plus an x is 3x. And then you have 1 times 2 is 2. So yeah, it works. So then either this bracket is 0, in which case x would equal minus 1. Okay, so if you cover up that bracket and go, right, if x plus 1 is equal to 0, just subtract 1 from both sides, right? And you get x is equal to minus 1. Or x plus 2 equals 0, subtracting 2 from both sides, you get x is equal to minus 2. And so these are the 2 solutions to that equation. Okay, right. So if we do something similar for number 2, x squared plus 2x take away 3 is 0. We're looking for 2 numbers that multiply together to make minus 3, but add together to make 2. Okay? So if they multiply together to make minus 3, one of them has to be positive, one has to be negative. Okay? So 3 and minus 1, they multiply together to make minus 3. And if you add 3 and negative 1 together, you get 2. So 3 take away 1 is 2. So it factorises to x plus 3, x take away 1. So either this bracket is 0, in which case x would be equal to negative 3, or this bracket is 0, in which case x would be equal to 1. And there are 2 solutions. Okay. So the third one, we have x squared take away x take away 6 is 0. So we want 2 numbers that multiply together to make minus 6, but add together to make minus 1. Okay, so because the result is negative, one must be positive, one must be negative. Okay, so how about minus 3 and positive 2? Minus 3 times 2 is minus 6. Minus 3 plus 2 is minus 1. So x take away 3, x plus 2 is equal to 0. So either this bracket is 0, in which case x would be equal to 3, or this bracket is 0, in which case x would be equal to negative 2. And they're the 2 solutions for number 3. Okay. Last one. We have x squared take away 13x plus 40 is equal to 0. So we want two numbers that multiply together to make 40, but add together to make minus 13. Okay. So how do we get 40? 4 times 10, but that won't get me minus 13. 8 and 5, 8 times 5 makes 40. Minus 8 plus minus 5 would make minus 13, so that works. Minus 8 times minus 5 is positive 40. Minus 8 plus plus negative 5 is minus 13. So that works. So we've got x take away 8, x take away 5 is equal to 0. So if this bracket is 0, x would be equal to 8. And if this bracket is 0, x is equal to 5. And there are two solutions.